I found the house at 2:46 a.m. I wasn't even looking to buy a house. I was just scrolling, half asleep, letting my mind drift the way it always did at night. That's when the listing appeared, no photos, no description, just an address and a price that made no sense. It was too cheap. Houses like that don't exist anymore. Not in America, not unless something is wrong. I should have closed the app. Instead, I saved it. The house stood at the end of a dirt road, surrounded by dead trees that looked like burned hands reaching out of the ground. The sky above it felt wrong, heavy, gray, like it was pressing down. The real estate agent refused to step inside. "I'll wait here," she said, gripping her clipboard like it could protect her. "Is something wrong with the house?" I asked. She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "People just don't stay long." The door opened easily. Too easily. Inside, the air was cold, but not in a normal way. It wasn't the kind of cold that comes from broken heaters or old walls. It felt intentional, focused. The house smelled like dust and something old. Every footstep echoed, even though the rooms were carpeted. The sound lingered longer than it should have, like the house was replaying it. I ignored the feeling in my chest. I signed the papers that same day. The first night, I slept on the living room floor. At 1:12 a.m., I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, heavy, patient. I held my breath, listening. The footsteps stopped directly above me. Then came a sound that made my blood turn cold. Someone sighed. Not loudly. Not sharply. Like they were disappointed. The second night, the mirrors changed. I noticed it in the bathroom first. My reflection lagged behind me, just a fraction of a second too late. When I raised my hand, the reflection hesitated, then copied me. I laughed it off. People always laugh before they understand they're trapped. By the third night, the house started whispering. It wasn't words at first, just murmurs, soft, distant, like someone talking through walls thick with dirt. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the whispers became clearer. Names. Not random ones. Mine was among them. I explored the house the next day, trying to prove to myself that I was still in control, that I wasn't imagining things. That's when I found the basement door. It hadn't been there before. I was sure of it. The handle was warm. When I opened it, the smell hit me: mold, metal, and something sweet like decay. The stairs went down farther than the house should allow. At the bottom, I found recordings. Cassette tapes. Each one labeled with a date. The first date was from 10 years ago. The last one was dated tomorrow. I played one. It was my voice. Crying. Begging. Screaming not to come back. That night, the house showed me the truth. I dreamed I was walking through the rooms, watching people live in them. Different families, different years, same fear. None of them ever left. They stayed long enough to fade until the house learned them. Their voices, their faces, their memories. Then the house wore them. I woke up standing in front of the mirror. My reflection smiled. I didn't. I tried to leave the next morning. The front door wouldn't open. The windows showed a forest that didn't exist outside. Endless trees, no road, no sky. The house sighed again. Satisfied. Days passed, or maybe years. Time didn't work properly inside anymore. The whispers became conversations. The walls spoke in familiar voices. Sometimes they sounded like people I loved. Sometimes they sounded like me. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. The house didn't need me to. One night, I heard the door open. Footsteps. A voice downstairs. A real estate agent, explaining the house to someone new. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. The house was done with me. Now I stand in the upstairs hallway, waiting. Listening to the new footsteps below. Learning a new voice. Because this house doesn't kill you. It keeps you. And once you belong to it, you never really leave. In my town, everyone knows one rule. If you hear someone calling your name at 3:17 am, do not answer. Do not look outside. And whatever you do, do not follow the voice. Because the voice sounds like someone you love. The disappearances started quietly. One person every few months. No signs of struggle. No goodbyes, just empty houses and unanswered phones. Police blamed it on people running away. But we knew better. Every single one of them vanished after waking up at 3:17 am. I didn't believe the stories. That was my first mistake. The night I heard the voice, I was awake already. Rain tapped against my window, slow and steady. My phone glowed beside me, 3:16 am. Then I heard it. Daniel. My name. Soft, familiar. It came from outside. It sounded exactly like my mother. My mother had been dead for 6 years. I froze. The voice came again, clearer this time. Daniel, come here, I'm cold. Every instinct in my body told me to move, to help, to open the door. My hand actually reached for the window before I stopped myself. That's when I noticed something wrong. The voice didn't echo. It sounded close, but empty. Like it didn't belong to the night. At 3:18 am, everything went silent. No rain. No wind. No sound at all. The next morning, I went to the forest. Everyone who disappeared lived close to it. Tall trees, no birds, no animal sounds. The deeper you went, the quieter it became, like the world was being muted. That's when I saw the marks. Footprints. Bare feet. All leading inside. None leading out. I started recording the nights. At exactly 3:17 am, the audio caught whispers, dozens of voices layered together. Men, women, children. All saying different names. But when I slowed the recording down, I heard something worse. Every voice was learning. Practicing. The third night, the voice changed. It sounded like me. Daniel, you're late. My reflection in the window smiled. I wasn't smiling. I didn't sleep after that. Neither did the town. People boarded up windows, slept with lights on. Some left, most stayed. Those who stayed started talking to themselves at night, answering questions no one else could hear. I went back to the forest one last time. At the center, I found a tree unlike the others. Its bark was pale, almost skin-like. Carved into it were names. Hundreds of them, including mine. At 3:17 am, the tree began to breathe. The forest filled with voices. Not calling anymore. Waiting. I ran. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. When I reached the edge of town, I heard the voice one final time. Not outside. Inside my head. You already came once. Now I wake up every night at 3:17 am. I don't hear the voice anymore. I feel it. Standing just behind my thoughts. Learning my memories. My tone. My fear. People still disappear. And sometimes, when someone new hears a familiar voice calling from the forest, it sounds like me. I checked into the hotel at 11:48 p.m. The lobby was too quiet for a place that claimed to be fully booked. No voices, no footsteps, just the soft hum of fluorescent lights and the slow ticking of a clock behind the front desk. The receptionist didn't look up when I said my name. She slid the key across the counter. Room 307. Her hand paused for half a second. "Checkout is at noon," she said flatly. Then quieter. "If you make it that far." The elevator ride felt longer than it should have. The numbers climbed slowly. 2-3. When the doors opened, the hallway was dim and narrow. The carpet smelled damp, like it had been cleaned too many times without ever drying. Room 307 was at the very end. The door was already unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal. Too normal. A neatly made bed, a desk, a mirror facing the window. The clock on the nightstand read 2:11 a.m. I assumed it was broken. I didn't fix it. That night, I dreamed of knocking. Not someone knocking on my door. Me. From the inside. I woke up gasping. The clock still read 2:11 a.m. I reached for my phone, no signal, no service. The battery drained from 72% to 0 in seconds. Then I heard breathing. Not mine. From the bathroom. The door was open. The mirror was fogged. Words were written across it with a finger. "You're late." I stepped back. The lights flickered. The clock reset. 2:11 a.m. I woke up again. Same bed, same room, same clock. At first, I thought it was a nightmare. Then I noticed something new. A small scratch on my wrist. I hadn't had it before. The second loop was worse. Sounds came from the walls, muffled screaming, furniture dragging, something heavy being pulled across the floor above me. I opened the door. The hallway was empty, but the carpet was wet. Warm. On the third loop, the mirror spoke. Not out loud. The reflection moved its mouth without sound, forming words I somehow understood. "You die differently every time." Memories started bleeding through. I saw flashes that weren't mine. People waking up in this room. People begging at this door. People pounding the walls until their hands broke. All of them watching the clock. All of them reaching 2:11 a.m. None of them seeing 2:12. I tried to stay awake. I tried to change things. I smashed the clock. It reappeared. I covered the mirror. It uncovered itself. I screamed. The room listened. On one loop, I made it to the lobby. The receptionist smiled. Behind her, the clock read 2:11 a.m. "Checkout is at noon," she repeated. Her eyes were empty, like she had said it 1,000 times. The final loop was the clearest. I remembered everything. I remembered checking into this hotel years ago. I remembered being attacked in this room. I remembered dying on the floor beside the bed while staring at the clock. 2:11 a.m. I remembered promising myself I'd wake up. I did. Over and over again. Now I sit in room 307. The door won't open. The mirror smiles when I don't. The clock waits. Always patient. Somewhere, someone is checking in. The elevator is rising. And soon, I won't be alone anymore. The first time I saw him, I thought he was just a trick of the light. A shape where a shape shouldn't be. It happened during the blackout. The city lost power at 11:03 p.m. Streetlights died one by one, plunging entire blocks into uneven darkness. Some areas were lit by moonlight. Others were swallowed completely. That's when people started disappearing. Always from the darkest spots. I was a security guard for a parking complex downtown. 12 hours alone, watching cameras that barely worked even on a good night. That night, the cameras showed something wrong. Every shadow was still. Except one. It moved when no one else did. Not fast. Not slow. Intentional. At first, it looked human-shaped. Tall, thin, stretched in ways a body shouldn't stretch. It stayed just outside the light, never crossing into it fully. When a car passed and headlights swept the area, the shadow flattened against the walls, then stood up again when the light moved on. Like it understood the rules. The next morning, a woman was missing from level B. Her car was still parked. Her phone was still inside. The only thing gone was her shadow. People laughed when I said that. Until more disappearances followed. Always during partial light, never in full darkness, never in full brightness. Only where shadows exist. I started noticing him everywhere. Reflections in store windows. Dark corners of hallways. The space beneath flickering streetlights. He was learning the city. One night, I tested something. I stood under a street lamp and stepped slowly backward. The moment my foot crossed into shadow, I felt it. Pressure. Like someone standing too close behind me. Breathing without breath. I ran. The security footage later showed something terrifying. I ran into the light. The shadow followed. Not behind me. Inside my outline. That's when the dreams started. I dreamed of walking through the city unseen. People passed right through me. I tried to speak, but my voice didn't exist. I looked down. No reflection. Only darkness where my feet should be. I researched urban legends, old police files, anything. I found a name written once, decades ago, in a case that was never solved. The unlit man. A being that can't exist without contrast. A thing that survives only where light and dark meet. And when it takes you, it doesn't kill you. It replaces you. The final night came during another blackout. I was at home. Every light was on. I felt safe. Until the bulb above me flickered. Just once. And I saw him on the wall. Wearing my shape. I tried to turn on my phone flashlight. The shadow covered it. I tried to scream. My shadow opened its mouth. Now I walk the city at night. I stand where lights almost reach. I wait for people who step just a little too far back. Sometimes they feel it. That sudden chill. That feeling of being watched. If you ever notice your shadow moving. When you are perfectly still. Don't look down. Because once it learns your shape, you'll be the one left behind.
My name is Riley. I was 24 when I agreed to house sit for an old friend in a small town in North Carolina. The house was huge, 3 floors, surrounded by woods. It looked abandoned at first, but everything inside was intact. The air smelled old, like dust and cedar. My friend warned me it was a quiet place, perfect to focus and relax. I thought it would be a nice escape from city life. I was wrong. The first night, everything seemed normal. I unpacked, made dinner, and explored the house. The floors creaked under each step. Windows rattled slightly. Shadows from the trees danced across the walls. Nothing alarming yet. Around midnight, I heard it. A soft knocking. 3 slow knocks coming from the back of the house. I paused. The house was empty except me. I ignored it, thinking it might be the wind. Then it came again, closer this time. Louder, more deliberate. I grabbed a flashlight and checked every room. Empty. No one. The next night the knocking returned. But this time there were whispers too. Soft, hissing, words I couldn't understand. Riley, leave now. I tried to sleep, but every sound made my heart race. The shadows in the corners of rooms seemed heavier. Watching. Waiting. One night I woke at 1:17 a.m. to footsteps on the staircase. Slow, heavy, coming down. I grabbed a kitchen knife, creeping to the hallway. The steps stopped. Silence. Then a door creaked open. The basement. I didn't go down. For days, the noises continued. Footsteps, whispers, doors opening, floorboards creaking, always at night. I set cameras, hopping to catch something. Footage showed nothing, yet the feeling of being watched never left me. Then it escalated. One night I saw it, a figure at the end of the hallway, tall, black clothes, no face, just presence. My blood ran cold, I couldn't breathe. The figure didn't move, just stared. I yelled, waved the knife, tried to scare it. Nothing. It vanished before I could blink. The next night, more noises. Objects moved on their own. My laptop fell from the table, lights flickered. The whispers grew louder. Now they were calling my name, taunting me. I stayed awake for 3 nights straight. My body ached, my mind frayed, but I couldn't leave. Fear kept me trapped inside, but curiosity and stubbornness made me stay. Finally, I couldn't take it. I left in the middle of the night, packed everything, drove back to the city. I told my friend about the house. They laughed, said it was probably old pipes or animals. I didn't tell them everything. The truth, I know what I saw. I know the whispers were real. I know the figure followed me in my dreams. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can hear it. Soft footsteps, faint whispers calling my name, waiting.